Hey guys, I'm Sana,
And I'm Lourdes.
and in today's video we're going to talk about incidents in the life of a slave girl. But first, let us start by introducing you the author. The book was written by Harriet Jacobs. She was an acclaimed American abolitionist and feminist. Jacobs was born in North Carolina and died in Washington, D.C. Her work Incidents was written between 1853 and 1858. However, it was not published until 1861. Harriet's book, which is presented as an autobiography, describes how she suffered from slavery and sexual abuses from a young age. Influenced by abolitionism, the book's genre is slave narrative, a genre popular among abolitionists with the aim to encourage the movement.
It is important to take into account the historical context, because while Jacobs was writing Incidents, slavery was legal in the United States, and it was a very common issue. However, in 1850, when the Fugitive Slave Act became effective, controversy was caused. This law required that all escaped slaves were to be returned to their master. The idea whether to keep or abolish slavery not only caused ideological division between the North and the South, but it also led to the Civil War in 1861, the same year that Incidents was published. Consequently, people lost their interest in the book until the late 20th century, when it was rediscovered by critics.
Let's talk now about the characters, because we believe that they are the most outstanding features of the book. The author uses them to seek reaction from the reader, especially when talking about their personalities and their actions toward her. The most interesting thing about the characters is the fact that Jacobs uses pseudonyms to address them. This is due to her situation and because she didn't want to put in danger her relatives in the South. For example, she calls herself Linda Brains. Linda Brains is a woman that believes in freedom beyond everything and whose only wish is to become free and to be able to guarantee a future for her children.
Another character is Dr. Flint, pseudonym of James Norcom. He is Linda's master who wants to own her in every way possible. However, the only thing that he achieves is becoming her enemy.
As previously mentioned, Harriet's work is an autobiography whereby she shares the most intimate details of her life. Among those fine points, we find the sexual abuse that her master has been submitting her to and the plan that she makes to escape from her slaveholder.
We can see this when Harriet describes that she started receiving unwanted sexual attention from her master when she was just 15 years old. This is shown in this quote. Indeed, these abuses were very common and nearly every young girl was abused by her master at that time. If any of these women who were abused got pregnant, she could not tell anyone who the father of the child was, since it was a crime.
In spite of everything that happened to her, she tried to keep herself pure and to maintain her self-respect. We see this when she tries to escape from the master with every chance she had. Also, when her father and grandmother tried to buy her, they were unsuccessful as the master would always decline their offer by claiming that she was his daughter's property.
Furthermore, we realize that her plan to escape from slavery contradicts with her ideals. She believed in being loyal to herself, but she used her body to get pregnant by Mr. Sands as a plan to achieve freedom from Dr. Flint. In addition to this, she thought that this plan would allow her to carry out revenge to her master, showing that she preferred another man over him.
In conclusion, what attracts our attention the most is the fact that she goes against her ideology to escape from slavery. That is to say, during her whole life she fights against her master because she did not want to let him abuse her sexually. However, she gave her body to Mr. Sands in order to get away from captivity.
About the style, we can say that during her narration, Harriet Jacobs speaks always directly to the readers, and she makes a comparison between her life and the readers. For example, she pleads, "Pity me and pardon me, O bit of freedom. You never knew what it is to be a slave." From this, we can see that she is constantly trying to make reliable statements and wants the reader to believe her, pity her, and even have empathy for her.
Furthermore, the author shows disposition to provide evidence to verify her reasoning, like when she says,
We notice that her language changes depending on who is she talking about. For example, when talking about Dr. Flint, she uses harsh language. But on the contrary, when speaking about her mother, she uses a language that shows how thankful and blessed she feels for having her.
Besides this, we want to highlight the difference between this work and another slave narrative by Frederick Douglass. We noticed that in the book narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, the main character also went through slavery, but he did not suffer from sexual harassment as Linda did, since he was a man.
Moreover, another variation in that is in Douglas' books, the language is more descriptive and tougher than Jacob's. For example, Douglas portrays the situation where the violence was extremely hard, as in the plantations, down to the last detail. In contrast, Jacobs focuses more on her personal experience, and we rarely witness her narrating other slaves' agony. In conclusion, we encourage you to give the book a chance, and we
We
hope
hope
you
you
enjoy
enjoy
it.
it.